Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you and your family. Taking a look here at Chainlink, seeing what's going on. I got a lot of requests for this coin. I can obviously see why. We got some pretty significant activity here today from bottom to top, upwards about 22%. So awesome stuff there. We'll go ahead and see if this is going to continue or if we might see a pullback. My speculation is we will probably see a pullback initially, which we may already have that pullback in place, but we're going to see if there's any key level supports or resistances based on previous patterns and timeframes, as well as understanding overextension. That's usually what you want to look at when these coins run like this. How long has it been running? What's it doing? And can it sustain? All right, so we'll take a look at that much more. If you're new to the channel, I like teaching people to trade. In case you didn't know this already, this is just my full-time job, and I truly enjoy it. So I can tell you that if you want to become a better trader, I got you covered. CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below where you can register to be part of our community. We got an awesome community. You can see here we took some healthy profits last night, a little 13% from Bitcoin. Again, the trades aren't massive right now based on the fact that the market is so kind of volatile and stuck in this really funky range right now. So bottom line, be very careful with your trades. We use low leverage and low position sizing for the moment until we have an official direction. But again, just something to think about. Also, be sure to think about considering joining over with our BingX group. I've got a copy trading group over as well. Be sure to check that out. There's some really good resources there. In fact, see if we can pull this up here for you so you can kind of see what that looks like. Because bottom line here is we've got some good traders, some good opportunities there. Had some decent copy or profit. We got 39 copy traders following me here so far. So it's been a pretty awesome experience. So be sure again to check that out. That is a public group there. And of course, our private group has a lot more trade signals and some different strategies involved. But either way, that's something you want to check out in your own time if you're curious. My trading techniques and kind of what I do for my trade. So when it comes to Link, what we want to look at is a few things. So the daily is an important time frame to identify some moving averages, and I think it's important to recognize we're above all three moving averages. But you also got to recognize that the 20-day set moving average is starting to average itself out ascendingly here, concurrent with this trend line. So that's why you draw kind of a line that intersects with multiple points to kind of show that those are support levels, and we're establishing higher highs and higher lows. It may be a little while before this trend line is retested, but it is still a trend line nonetheless. And the 20-day SMA is a common trend setter, at least on the daily. Okay, so be sure to pay attention to that. That is a guy that we want to look at. But if we look at, of course, big picture here, we were breaking through 70 on the RSI. So if we close above 70 today, there's a decent chance we'll see further upside because of the fact that it's consolidating right there at that support. We've also got a support level here, basically 0.236 on Fibonacci at $7.83. So $7.83 is something that is a really, I guess, a big point of contention here, because a closure above that would give us confirmation that we're probably likely to continue to ascend. If we close below that, maybe not so much. Okay. Now again, I'm basing this off of Fibonacci retracement, and that is kind of part of our Elliott wave here as well. So this does kind of indicate that if we do see a pullback, because again the top isn't officially in, that's why we see a dotted line here, but we're close, if you will, right? So if this is the highest point in which Link goes today, and the price kind of goes no higher, then we will see a pullback to somewhere in the 0.382, 0.5, or 0.618 Fibonacci levels. 0.618 and 0.5 are really common, so I would say $7.20 would be a good DCA target or a pullback point to buy the next long. Because again, anytime you break through a key level resistance, which we saw here previously, it should work as a support moving forward. So hypothetically, the price pulls back, we should be able to honor that ascending trend and bounce off that level of 720 or 750 and or 690. Again, I'm rounding up and down a little bit, but that's essentially what we're looking at there. All right, so those are the kind of the silver linings on the daily, right? So daily looks pretty strong here. 4 hour obviously looks strong as well. We're converging on the MACD. We can see we're up still over 70 on the 4 hour time frame. Money flow index is high, and stochastic is giving us a potential turnaround indication here. So in truth, this is a pretty good place to be. There's a good chance it could continue to run. We look at all the moving averages, still above, no surprise there. So in truth, we're looking pretty good here, fairly strong. So be cautious and careful trading into this. In other words, taking a short position may not be the most ideal at this point. But again, it's tempting, right? Because it's so high up there. Is it going to fall back down? Well, I would say potentially yes. If Bitcoin falls back and continues lower, then we might see a correction from Chainlink. But if you do look at the correlation here, you can see with Bitcoin doing poorly, Chainlink has held itself pretty well. Okay, this is a minor correction considering how much Bitcoin just dropped. Because I mean, Bitcoin, there was like 985 million basically a sell-off of 985 million, almost $1 billion to get from this point to this point, right? And that was like about a 15-minute candle. Very obnoxious little, 3% correction, which may not seem like a lot, but if you correlate that here, yes, we saw a correction here, and it's a larger correction. It's almost 5%. It's still not that terrible compared to the majority of the market, and the fact that it's overextended and still sustain this price point. So those are things you want to kind of identify when you're taking long positions. I'm not saying it's going to hold this price point forever. We are, 7 4-hour candles. We're basically 24 hours into this continuation. And in most cases, prices pull back after about 36 hours. Again, of consistency in that same direction. But most of this volume is coming a lot in basically 2 candlesticks. So we see a massive amount of volume. As the volume dissipates, the price will start to do so as well. Okay, so there's a better chance that the price is going to pull back than it is going to sustain. But you got to recognize that Bitcoin does pump and get back up into the 30,000 range. Then there's a good chance Chainlink might also retest this level of $8.40. Okay? So again, that's about a 4% increase there. So you could either wait for that to retest or consider shorting now. Again, I don't like to recommend shorting ever, but we are at a 9 on TD sequential here on the 1 hour. And the fact of the matter is we're only a couple of hours into this downtrend, right? So there's a chance that the price could continue much lower. So, statistically speaking, smaller time frames are telling us it wants to pull back. Larger time frames tell us it's going to probably continue to run. So, again, keep in mind there's a lot of reasons why this coin is doing fairly well and sustaining its current price point. Let's take a look at the Ichimoku Cloud. Big surprise. All green lights here, basically saying leave your long position open. If we take a look at, we can look at a few other things here on the 15-minute. I'd like to kind of pay attention to the RSI, and we can see it's already starting to come back down here. So this shift in momentum has occurred already, and it's kind of starting to stabilize right here at the $8 mark even. So I would recommend not shorting. Honestly, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but this does look like it could continue to run. But again, if you do short, you want to be careful. But keep in mind, this is an interesting pattern. A lot of times it's a pennant pattern where the price comes up, kind of works itself into a little bit of a wedge, and it will commonly break to the upside. Okay. Now, it could just retest this level here and get rejected. So if I were to short, I would probably consider a short somewhere around the 830, 840 mark. I'm going to just go ahead and put a little alert there. So I'm notified if that were to occur, just to ensure that we take another look at it, right? Again, I'm not just going to short blindly when it gets to that point, but I will reevaluate and see if that's worthwhile. Because again, if Bitcoin can regain 30,000, then there's a good chance that Chainlink will effectively continue higher. If Bitcoin drops to sub 29,000 range, absolutely we will see a correction from Chainlink, and it's going to come down. So it really just depends on what Bitcoin's doing right now. And unfortunately, with that large amount of volume coming into Bitcoin, it's a little shaky at that 29,800 range. So do with that what you will. All right, so that's essentially where we're at here so far. I would say just probably wait for confirmation. That's ultimately my recommendation on most situations, because like yesterday, for example, when we took our long from Bitcoin, got that 13%. We waited for confirmation above the cloud. We closed at 29.8 on the daily, or 29.9 rather. We took entry, got our target at 30,300, and got in and get out quickly, right? So again, you got to go kind of make some smaller moves right now. Try not to get too greedy in this market. I know coins like this, when they're up high, it seems pretty juicy, but I can tell you that you're statistically more likely to get wrecked if you try to short than you are to long on this coin right now. Yeah. I just recommend maybe waiting for a slight pullback and then taking a long, instead of shorting to that point and trying to get superhero status, right? All right. Other than that, all I can say is thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Greatly appreciate it. Also, be sure to check out our BingX exclusive offer until July 31st. Link down below. They have a trading bonus and a deposit bonus of upwards of $150, and you don't have to really do too much to get that. Really cool stuff. No VPN or KYC required. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.